Whom do you think is to blame when it comes to unemployment?
I think we are all to blame. Call it individuals, call it the government, and maybe our parents or us. So I see it's something open. We can't be like, okay, we are pointing fingers on the government, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. But at some point of time, we have regions in our country, Uganda. We have some regions where we have people who are unemployed because they are ignorant.
This is a very uneasy topic to, or something that you can adjourn without research. But unemployment, the personal inadequacy.
Personal
Because
inadequacy.
you're
You're not
talking
working.
about the people willing to work, but they cannot access or they cannot find those jobs in the market. There are circles that we have and they are always availing jobs. You find that most of them, one, they do not know about them. Two, some or most of them undermine the jobs.
I want to put it to various factors. I want to talk about the inadequacies in the government policies. Basically, when you put away ignorance, even if our youth were rational or if our people were rational about the available jobs, they will still not get those jobs, because we are seeing the number of people in our communities, the number of youth, the number of people that need to be employed, outnumbering the jobs that are available. So that even if all our people were rational about the available jobs, still unemployment would not be curbed without improving the government policies.
My name is Biona Joan. Once again, welcome back to the Bridge Talk Show.
I am Taremwa Victor, and I'm exceedingly and resoundingly honored to be part of this discussion, the Bridge Talk Show.
Derek Tumuiwaza is my name. I am very grateful for you all, our audience. This is the Bridge Talk Show, where stories meet.
I love to quote that the strength of a chain lies in its flexibility. In a fast-growing society where technology is becoming an issue and where countries like Uganda have not yet embraced hackathons and technology to the medium or to the top, we are looking at cases like unemployment in Africa or in Uganda. Today, we are going to navigate the topic of unemployment and see where we lie, what we need to do, how we need to do it.
I am very excited about today's topic, unemployment. This is an issue that is very critical. Unemployment is very on the rise in our country, Uganda, and we need to address it as soon as possible before it chokes us to death. There are very high rates of unemployment in Uganda. Specifically, it is realized amongst the youth. This is very dangerous, since statistics has it that 78% of Uganda's population are youth. And what does it mean to say that the biggest percentage of these people is unemployed? It is very dangerous, and it needs to be addressed with immediate effect.
All right, today as we break down unemployment, we are going to be looking at very key and crucial factors that are leading to the unrising unemployment levels here in Uganda. And we have the government sector, the educational sector. Could it be the personal inadequacies? What do you think could be the reason as to why most of the youth today, the fact that they are covering up 78%, are not having jobs? Is it the government sector? Is it the education sector? Who is to blame? That's what we want to look up to. So, Honorable Joan, whom do you think is to blame when it comes to unemployment?
Well, on my side of the view, I think we are all to blame. Call it individuals, call it the government, and maybe our parents or us. So I see it's something open. We can't be like, okay, we are pointing fingers on the government, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Yes, at some point of time, the government has failed itself. But at some point of time, we have regions in our country, Uganda. We have some regions where we have people who are unemployed because they are ignorant. Because some of the things they would be doing actually to earn money are there and in existence, but they don't know about them and they are not ready to learn and get to know about them. So one of the reasons why some of us are unemployed is because of ignorance. Sometimes I even go to YouTube and I'm like, okay, let me make some research as a university student. What can I do at home to earn me some money, upkeep, you get? And you find there are very many things you can be doing. You start at a low cost and they earn you a living as a student, but we don't know about them. And at times, due to ignorance, even when we try to get to know that, okay, someone is doing that, this and that, and they started small, we get scared. We are like, really, can I do it? How will they see me? You see such cases. So on my point of view, I think it's open. Thank you very much.
Yes, Derek. Joan is talking about ignorance. To a larger extent, we have seen the government trying to advertise the government sector and the private sector. They have tried and they have done their best to advertise the existing jobs in the field, in newspapers, on TVs, and to mention but a few. Do you think ignorance could be a major factor to the rising levels of unemployment in Uganda?
Thank you so much, and thanks to Joan for the insight. Well, unemployment is basically due to many factors, and to a point of ignorance, I don't believe it is a major factor to unemployment, because Uganda is ranked, I think, even in East Africa, to have the best quality education, not in the world, not in Africa, but in East Africa.
You're right. You're very
And
right.
high numbers of people are now rational about the employment opportunities, because most of them actually have managed to be able to access the media, the internet, and people tend to be informed. Where does the problem come from if ignorance is not the factor? I want to put it to various factors. I want to talk about the inadequacies in the government policies. Basically, when you put away ignorance, even if our youth were rational, or if our people were rational about the available jobs, they will still not get those jobs, because we are seeing the number of people in our communities, the number of youth, the number of people that need to be employed, outnumbering the jobs that are available. So that even if all our people were rational about the available jobs, still unemployment would not be curbed without improving the government policies. Policies like supporting the private sector, ensuring different projects, for example, doing sensitization, sponsoring teaching of the disabled, for example, establishing projects to secure jobs for the disabled, for example, seamstresses, tailors, knitting, a lot of things that the disabled can do, and other jobs that are out of the scope of the disabled, and this has really failed the government in a way that our youth are really willing to work, but they cannot find the jobs. That is where unemployment arises from. I'll address other issues later. I want to pose a question to you. Where do you think the inadequacies come from? Why do you think we have a high rates of unemployment?
Well, in my opinion, when it comes to unemployment, this is a very uneasy topic to, or something that you can adjourn without research. But unemployment mostly, I think, could arise from the personal inadequacies.
Personal
Because
inadequacies.
you're
In what
talking
way?
about the people willing to work, but they cannot access or they cannot find those jobs in the
Yeah.
market. And I do think because there are circles that we have and they are always availing jobs, you find that most of them, one, they do not know about them. Two, some or most of them undermine the jobs. You find that someone, or because they are looking at white collar jobs, you find that someone cannot maybe do a specific type of job, and therefore remaining what? Unemployed.
Actually, 50% of the youth undermine jobs.
I think you say that
Yeah,
50%.
that is true, that 50% undermine the jobs. But I want to challenge you people that there are more people, regardless of those that undermine the jobs, there are people willing to do jobs. We've seen people that are willing to even do jobs such as cleaning. Now, the jobs that people tend to despise, they can include teaching, they can include garbage collection and other jobs. But still, we've seen people that are ready to do any kind of job as long as they are paid. But still, they don't find such jobs.
I think
Do
they are
you-
lazy.
They are lazy in what way?
They are lazy because I've noticed, at least when I'm passing on the streets of Kampala, each and every time I see posters aligned on the different poles, on the different
Those are
poles.
scammers, my friend.
And not all. The
No,
moment
those
you
are
start-
scammers. I have tried most of them. I have been a job seeker before,
Mm,
and I have tried most of those posters.
mm.
These are people that recruit youth under something called as network marketing, which is a scam. I cannot recommend such to the public out there because this really has no value in it.
Well, I've not actually followed such billboards to look for a job, but when we talk about job seeking, jobs everywhere, jobs, I'm actually one of the people that doesn't look for jobs, apparently, and I never used to look for jobs. I actually don't love to be employed. So I've always been there making research. What can I really do myself? How can I become a CEO? I love that respect. So apart from loving that respect, we have very many things we can do ourselves. Even from the knowledge we attain from school, whatever we learn, even if you become a teacher or you learn to become a teacher, it doesn't mean that you have to be in someone's school teaching. You can teach online and you can make money online. You become yourself employee.
Now
It
that
doesn't mean
that
to-
goes back to the government policies.
It's not
For
the
example,
government to get
no,
you what to
For
do
example,
yourself.
teaching online. How many students do you think can access data apart from what we call the planned kids?
Now
Now,
look, listen.
the people in the poor backgrounds or people from humble backgrounds will be left out.
Exactly. So when you're
It means you
talking
will only
about
cater, you will only serve your country by serving only the people that are high there, and you will leave out. Will you
Okay,
fully serve
Derek,
your
first
country?
listen to me.
Yes,
If
please.
you're talking about such job scopes, you're just aligning yourself to Uganda, and that's when at the beginning I talked about our country embracing hackathons. The government has not yet done enough to embrace hackathons. I'm a computer scientist, so I really know what it means to be a hackathon. You can actually earn than any other person in the world. That's why you see Elon Musk is the richest person, you get. So if I talk about you teaching online, we have seen people who have gone to those kindergartens and they are teaching students in the UK. They are teaching students in Eritrea, just English, and you're earning dollars in hours.
Here in Uganda.
I've done that, yes,
And they are
here
Ugandan
in
teachers.
Uganda, and
Now,
I've coached Eritreans English.
I want us to put this on a Ugandan basis. Where does it leave the Ugandan child? Are we supposed to be teachers and we focus on teaching people outside? Or
I'm
we should
giving
also
you
try to
an
teach?
example.
It
So,
is an example, fine.
okay, let me ask you. a
Address
question.
it on the basis of the Ugandan child.
So does it mean that me as a teacher, someone who started to become a teacher, I'm not a teacher, but I've taught. But if I started to become a teacher, does it mean that I can sit home and wait to be employed and spend years not earning anything because I want to
What
teach a
resolutions
child
do you
in
give?
Uganda?
I think actually I reason with her because you cannot wait for the government to seek or to get for you a job.
Exactly.
But if you invest more time in making more research, being creative and innovative, it always produces the very good results. Because the moment you become reluctant and you're basing on the government, hey, you're going to be unemployed for the rest
Yeah,
of your life.
I actually align with your thoughts.
Mm.
But you've not got what I'm speaking. You're talking about people more, so it has to do with people being entrepreneurial, people starting up projects on their own. But I can't reason with that before our government puts some things right. Nowadays, starting up a project like a school, for example, you're a teacher and you want to start up a school of your own. It is very difficult. Attaining land in Uganda is very difficult.
And I can challenge you
Start-
that you can
starting-
start a school.
Starting
People are
up,
starting schools
hold on.
easily.
Hold on. Starting schools is very
Ona muzigo.
bureaucratic. You understand?
You start a school on
Starting schools is
Namuzigo.
bureaucratic. You need licenses. You need what? When you go to the ministries in offices, you find yourself being scammed.
So do
You pay for
think-
licenses and you're not offered the licenses.
Do you think
understand?
such licenses should be actually removed?
So it is very bureaucratic. The licenses shouldn't be removed, but policies should be put right in a way that starting a personal project is not hectic. It is not very expensive.
Yeah, there
That
you're
is where I want to put my point. So basically, I'm not against starting employment on our own, I want to challenge the government to make starting our own projects so that we get employed easier.
Maybe if I could maybe pose a very simple question, how best, maybe in terms of the policies that are there, would you want them to be reformed?
Yeah.
Because if we look at licensing someone before them opening up a school, what is that could be below that can
Exactly.
be done apart from licensing? Because a license is needed.
Remember, I said the strength of a chain lies in its flexibility. Okay, let's say the government has really done bad to put such licenses that are so expensive, but amidst that, you as a person, how can you thrive in such a nation?
Basically, I want to challenge you people that Ugandans are very willing people and very hardworking people to a certain extent. They are willing to start projects, and we all know this. You're all Ugandans, you're in
But
the
they are
country.
lazy.
They are not
Trust
lazy.
me, I
Pe-
myself has started projects
people-
and have failed.
People have always wanted to start projects, and they are failing because of what the Baganda call them kokola. You are in the country and you people know this. It is not the personal inadequacies. Okay, I believe that not all Ugandans are capable or are ready, but the people who are ready are also failing. How will the lazy one learn to be strong if even those who are strong have tried and failed because of the government inadequacies? This is an issue that needs to be addressed with immediate effect. We need a change in our country so that we can curb unemployment.
Actually, I think people now are like, okay, for you, you're supporting the government, for you, since you're not a job seeker. But, well, I'm not aligning with the government, and I'm not happy with the government because, as I've said, as a computer scientist, I know and I've seen and I've tested how people are really earning actually clean money on hackathons that are, yes, okay, the government might be like,
Are
might
those people
come
are
back-
those people
might
Ugandans?
come to prove to us that
Are those
they've
people
breast-
Ugandans?
I'm telling you that our country has failed to brace such a thing,
Mm.
of which it's only the government that would help us embrace such, like AI. When we talk about AI, people think about
Do you believe
copying
that
exams
now? Do you
or
believe
doing
that there are
what?
people that are willing to take on such a thing that you're mentioning, and
because
they
the
are
government
unable?
that's what I'm talking about.
You have
right
to be
now.
online with me then.
That's what I'm talking about right now. So the government has really failed us on things that are actually, it has failed to cope up with the fast-paced society where technology is being embraced in all nations. Uganda is still lagging behind. We have very many people out there who have not learned, who have not gone to school, but they've embraced technology and they are doing a lot of big things. The government has also failed to explain to societies, those deep societies, on how to thrive.
Well, allow me to intervene. Whereas most of you are maybe blaming the government to a larger extent, I feel like there are more sectors to blame than the government. When you look at the education sector,
Still the
before-
government.
but before I go to the education sector, I would love us to understand the personal inadequacies on a smaller scope. It bounces back to you as an individual, irrespective of the prevailing circumstances that may be going on in the country. It goes back to you. What is that you've done? Because you find out that in this competitive economy we are in, because we are in I think we are in a free laissez-faire, you find that it is characterized by survival for the fittest. You must be hardworking in a way that you make sure that there is something you're doing to make sure that you find a job. But the moment you stay right back, waiting for the government, waiting for the education sector, waiting for the other arms of government I can mention, but when back you're doing nothing for yourself, I don't think it changes anything. So to the youth watching, it must bounce back to you. What is that you're doing? Are you putting in enough? Are you putting in enough before you complain that there are no jobs? Are you doing that research? That's what I think.
So me as a person, what I've really done, I've embraced the art of networking. I've tried to network, I've tried to make friends abroad, I've tried to make friends all over. I've tried to actually, let me tell you, You see this meme that is trending that I've tried very many things and right now I'm thinking about building a police station. Really, people who sit down and think about memes sometimes are realistic. I've tried very many things as a youth, and it comes it comes back to networking. At least you will see a friend doing this and you're like, how did you do this? They tell you, you try it. If you fail, don't give up. Don't give up. We are not dying right now. You try something else. If someone is maybe doing something online, can I do it? How are they doing it? Let's not sit back and wait for us to study, finish, and then we look for the jobs. In school, you can do a lot of things. By the time you finish school, you find you have a stand. You get a point.
Well, as we get and dig deep more into unemployment, don't forget that you're watching the Bridge Talk Show, and don't forget to comment and tell us more about what you think causes unemployment and what you think about social networking when it comes to fighting unemployment. Well, we're not going to stick to networking. I believe we shall have more time to speak about networking as a whole, on how largely it fights unemployment.
Yeah.
So, well, Derek, what do you think of the education sector?
Well, the education sector is very crucial in the employment and the unemployment rates of the country. Basically, I would love to stress out that the education sector of Uganda recently has only produced incompetent people in the job field, in that these people leave education institutions, but they don't have the capacity or the full potential to work effectively. You find a teacher that cannot speak in a class. You understand? So this is because
Yeah.
A
right.
moment. I think before these teachers come maybe to schools and start teaching, I'm sure they are first verified. What are you meaning that they cannot speak, yet they are first examined to
We have
to define their
Gambanog.
competence?
We have Gambanog in our country, where even UNEB has come to an extent that it's embracing Gambanog. I had a teacher. I'm going to be sincere. I had a teacher years back, a biology teacher, who could come and sit in class and as if he's teaching over 2-3 people in a class of
that is
over
what I was
100
talking about.
students.
A teacher that cannot speak being in
You're
school.
right.
This is the quality of people that the education sector is producing. Someone goes to university, they study the bachelor's of arts with education or the bachelor's of science with education, and they come out and they cannot speak. Why don't these people be trained how to be
And they
good
can
speakers so that they can teach properly?
write, and they can write. They have a first class honors, the best honors. They can write, and you be like,
and yet
they are
and yet
teachers.
in teaching them, there are presentations that they ought to do and they are awarded marks. How does someone who can't speak come up with a first class degree?
Gambanog
education
is
sector
doing
really
us
has
Are
a
you
bad.
lot
trying to say,
to be
that the
questioned about.
education sector is incompetent? Are you trying to say
It
that
is
there are
very
a lot of
incompetent.
weaknesses? Because if we are starting to recognize and realize that we are receiving teachers that are not capable because of the Gambanogo and so whatsoever.
Gambanog. I saw
Our president,
The
our
CDF.
president, the
I saw
CDF.
his tweet.
Mm.
I saw his tweet about Gambanog.
Mm.
If he's really serious, I'm a person who doesn't like his tweets, but if he's really serious about that,
Yeah, he quoted
our
and said
CDF
that
kindly,
we shall have to
Gambanog is
rebuild.
doing us bad.
The
Mm.
country.
It's
We have
really
to remove
doing
these
us
so-called connections.
And when
Yes.
it comes to the education sector, really, there shouldn't be Gambanog.
It is of recent that there have been adjustments in the curriculum, and we are seeing a new curriculum coming up, formerly with the O level and now the A level. Maybe let's wait a little further to see how this will improve our competency, because we are very incompetent. You find a doctor that doesn't know how to treat.
But let me
Maybe
tell
You
you
understand?
about the new curriculum and stuff. We don't have to wait anymore. I don't think we have to wait. It's actually coming to an extent where we say we should bring back the old curriculum, because they brought it, and even the schools, the first schools, I thought were going to do better with such a curriculum. They are not doing.
Should we put
are
the
you trying
blame
to say
back
that,
to the teachers? They don't know how to teach.
The new
You see those practicals they are supposed to be doing. For example, you see those schools I'm talking about, they are rich schools, they can provide such things. And now we are looking at the village schools where we started from. failing to cope up with the new curriculum because they are lacking utilities. But we have
There
also
is
gone
there
to
is something I'm not understanding. Are you trying to say that the new curriculum has brought more harm than good? Because
Yeah.
we are looking.
But
listen,
I am
listen,
in line with the new curriculum.
listen.
I want
I'm
to,
also in
Yes,
line, and this
when-
is why I want
when you
us,
look
I
at
want
the
her
books,
to
when you look
elucidate.
at the books, it's okay.
Mm.
Me, I have my brother. He's
Not-
in senior two,
Listen,
but it doesn't make sense. It's still the old curriculum.
it
with
doesn't
Gamba
make
Nobu.
sense,
I'm going to do my
if-
practical.
if-
Teacher
if-
Nanka
if-
knows me. Me, I'm a
listen.
Mnyankole. Don't be surprised with the language. Teacher Nanka knows me. I've done my practical. He will actually guide me do the practical. That is not the new curriculum we thought.
no,
And he's going to give me 10 out of 10 and send it to UNEP.
I
That
don't
is what
think
is
I
happening.
can at least personally testify about.
Girls are not
The new
doing
curriculum.
girls are not doing assignments. Let me tell you, the CDF girls are not doing assignments in those schools. Yes,
in
And they are
secondary, university, or
in secondary, and they are sending 10 out of 10 in UNEP.
oh my God,
You didn't know,
that is new to my ears.
I personally don't quote to such an ideology.
but you know it's
Because-
happening.
Maybe in some schools it could be happening, and I think it must be bouncing back to the students themselves.
And the
Because
teachers,
if they are coded, okay, right, to a larger extent, the teachers, because the new curriculum being research based sounds something more interesting.
Wait.
Because
Thank you very much.
there is a
That is
question
the
I want
point.
to ask now. I'm sorry for pausing you.
Okay.
They are saying it's research based, and I'm not sure. That's why I'm not saying to. I'm going to say it the way I want to say it. I was looking for a way to tell you that the new curriculum has failed. Are they supposed to carry forms in school? Yes or no?
According
Don't
to
it passed by
according
the-
to the new curriculum
Yes.
setting,
Yes. Are they supposed to carry phones to school?
I
no,
believe they are supposed to be.
nope, they are
carrying
not.
them. I think
They
they are
are
supposed to be
supposed-
carrying them.
Like, are you asking to maybe to everyone's personal understanding, or is it allowed?
I think they are allowed. They are
They-
supposed to
No,
be
Okay,
having
I
they
don't-
are allowed. Let me show you. The government considers itself to be at the peak. And every time they release UNEB results, they be like, we need to improve government schools. If they say, but again, not even government schools, because private schools are paying what? Revenue, they are paying taxi. So, and we are embracing employment and what. I think if they are allowing students, if it's allowed students to carry phones to school, every child, call it private, it's my thought, if they want the new curriculum to actually make sense to me personally, and I think people will accept, they should buy a gadget to every child that is born and is sent to school. I sign out.
Obviously, that can't happen, because if you're now supporting that every student must be bought a phone as they are going to school, where do you leave the parents that can't afford to buy the phones for their children?
Have you had my point?
Second,
She has put it to
If
the government, I
The
think.
government should buy gadgets. Like we used to hear, I don't know if it's right.
even
in the US
no, listen, even if it were to the government, I don't think it is capable of buying.
Exactly.
All the
so
children.
The new curriculum is not making sense to me.
I know it
But
does.
no, the
it does,
curriculum makes
because
sense.
it being research based, it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Okay.
Listen. Let me complete. It doesn't necessarily mean that the students must be having phones.
Now,
All these schools have computer
all
laboratories.
these schools,
What you have to say
accept
is
the
they must.
Where do you
Yes,
come
they,
from?
they,
No,
they
I
have
don't- I don't
laboratories.
agree.
What
All
has
these
to be
schools,
done is
where
the,
do you come
the
from?
laboratories must be enhanced, must be improved to find that they
Internet
are
should
having
be.
the good facilities
I come
inside.
from Rwanda district. I come from Rwanda district. I know we have some seed schools where the government and those institutions that are putting in funds have embraced such things. But I come from Rwanda district, and we have schools in Rwanda that do not have laboratories, and they are government-based schools.
And what
I
have
want
you
to
done?
ask why.
Because when ever
They are
since
government schools. I don't know. I don't work with the government. Me, I'm self-employed.
as a person, as a land person coming from
I'm
Rwanda.
16 years old. I'm 16 years old. So
Oh,
when I
God,
grow
God.
old, just wait for
You'll
me.
make a change in Rwanda.
I will make a change in Rwanda. You
Okay.
people will be proud of Rwanda.
I am personally a teacher, I am pursuing the Bachelor of Arts with Education. That is
Philosopher, scholar,
with
teacher. Wow.
psychology, of course, a lot. So I want to defend the existing curriculum in schools. Personally, we have something that has to do with the history of education and a lot to do with psychology and philosophy of education. I believe in the ongoing curriculum more so in O level, regardless of its leakages or its weaknesses. When you look at the way they set their questions, there are questions that call for someone to bring a lot of reasoning into addressing such questions. And this improves the mental capacity of our students or of our young ones. Of course, we missed that chance. And it goes back to you who was saying individuals are lazy. They are not able to be entrepreneurial. They are not able to have the personal capacities to establish projects, So I believe this is what the new curriculum is in line with. The way they pose their questions, they are not direct questions with what we had before.
They
You find
require
that
critical thinking.
Yeah, the questions require for critical thinking. You find that these students will come out, I hope, because they are not yet out. I think the first people to accomplish such a curriculum have just done their Form 4 this year. So I believe these people will come out into the society and they will be capable of addressing life ethics with great, with great instincts and great insights. So I believe in the
I
new
do agree.
curriculum, and I hope it should be embraced and improved by the government where its leakages are, and the A level also has to move in line with the curriculum in O level, so that we get a competent education sector.
The government, please, the Ministry of Education, go back to our roots, where we come from. We have those schools. Yes, I'm not saying actually the new curriculum is bad, but I mind about where I come from. I mind about my people. Like, by the time I come into leadership or to help my people where I come from, where will I find them? At least let me find when they've also embraced the new curriculum. But me, where I come from, when you go there where Lake Bunyonyi is, I don't come from there, but I've been at a camp at Lake Bunyonyi. So I know how those children or kids or pupils are suffering. So I call upon the government of Uganda, the Ministry of Education, to reconsider such societies. And please also come to us, the youth. It's not about the old people. The youth and young people, choose them to come into the government and the ministry and write policy papers. Climate change is doing well with that, embracing young people to write policy papers. But the Ministry of Education, please embrace young people in those schools. Go to primaries, teach them how to write policy papers. Let them write whatever they can. You can learn from it. Go back to our villages and improve on the budgets that you provide to them. Let them have enough to cope up with people who have grown up from bigger families. They also want to strive.
Thank you
Well-
so much for the great insight. Unemployment is partially caused by advanced technology. You've done economics, if I am not mistaken,
Yes, please.
and that is a very standing point. In one of the major causes of unemployment, we have seen further improvement in the technology, more so with the rising of artificial intelligence, that is AI. Do you think AI is a threat to the employment statuses of our people in Uganda?
No.
Well, thank you for that wonderful question, and my answer is no.
AI is not a threat?
Yes.
It's not a threat.
So then
because-
economics is deceit.
no, it's not deceit. But I do think that to us that actually to our generation, because AI is more rising with us.
Definitely.
Yeah, we must be more strategic in choosing our pathways. Whereas maybe we think that AI could be taking up most of the jobs we could be thinking. What is making the AI?
It is the people.
It is the
Exactly.
people.
Good one.
So
Thank
it is us that has to control us. Is it what you want to say?
Not really, because when we are to look at what AI is doing, to a larger extent, AI is doing good. But in my opinion, I do think that we should just be more strategic in thinking and working hard, because the
And
same
learning to learn.
and being able to learn each and every day, because the same minds, the same heads that were able to create up the AI could as well create up something new.
Now, I want to share an experience with AI. At my workplace in town, that is in Mukwano Arcade, I have a personal technician that handles my printer. If at all it shuts down or it has any complications, I usually call them and say, hey, come and check my printer. Something is not right with it. But it is of recent that whenever I get a problem, I just write in AI. My printer is spilling ink on the paper, and AI just directs me how to handle things. Where does it put the job of this technician I've been calling of recent?
And the technician can do more better with AI, can
How?
do a lot of things.
He can become a better technician
How?
using AI, a more competent technician.
How?
Using through research, the same way you are able to text
Because
in something.
The
He's,
same way
he's
you're
no
able
longer
to
being
solve
called
it.
for the job.
For your job,
How
But-
does he resecure the job? Because AI has intervened. How does he resecure that job?
he can still secure that job using the same AI you are using. It's not mandatory that he's going to work with you forever. Now, at this point, he has to learn that, okay, I need to rethink and to widen my mind and see
How
to
do I
thrive.
embrace this AI?
So you learn,
Mm.
Derek, you learn and you be like, I lost Mr. Derek's job because he realized he can do well with AI.
So he has to basically improve his skills in the IT
Exactly.
sector.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Thank
well.
you for
Thank
a
you
great
very
insight.
much. Well, unemployment, it's a very challenging topic, and I believe we cannot exhaust it today. And to our beloved viewers, I beg that you can maybe gauge in and tell us on what you think can be done in order to curb unemployment. But as we conclude with the show, maybe I would love to know, what is your message to the youth as regards to unemployment?
To the youth out there, my name is Biona Newe Joan, and I would be happy when I see you subscribing to the Bridge Talk Show everywhere. We have channels everywhere, so please subscribe. But to the youth out there, actually, even if you're not a youth and you're maybe over 40 right now, my advice is one. Me, I've seen very many people, the people that are found in this world of networking. Don't call it this networking you're looking at a friendly basis or what. Be professional. Be professional. Go out there and try your luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joanne. Derek, what's your message to the youth today?
Well, basically, unemployment is very much on the rise, and it is a very big concern that needs to be addressed with immediate effect, because we need to thrive in this world. You know, life is a series of challenges that we need to handle, and in this, we need financial capabilities to handle some problems. Unemployment has to be really handled, and in Uganda, the main problem has to do with government policies, and in this I include the education sector, because it is also a body under the government. A lot has to be done. The government has to support the private sector in establishing its various ventures so that the youth can subscribe. Industrialization must be embraced a lot. It should not be made so much bureaucratic. And the education sector has to be improved. I am glad something is being done, and I want to acknowledge the Minister of Education, Mama Janet Kataham Museveni. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the Ministry of Youth, that is Minister Baram Balgahare Atenyi, Honorable Doctor. All due respect. A lot needs to be done, and I still call upon more effort by the people I have acknowledged. That is the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Youth, because you are under the government, and that is where I've put my emphasis to curb unemployment. Dear Honorable Balam Balgahare Atenyi, Doctor, all due respect, a lot needs to be done to see that our youth have a brighter future in this Uganda. We are stronger together for a better Uganda, for God and my country. Derek Tumwebaza is my name.
Thank you very much. Well, my message to you, the youth that are watching us today, is to always keep having hope and always make sure that there is something you're doing that is innovative, creative, to make sure that you are not always idle. Before you come out complaining about the government sector, complaining about this and this, make sure that there is something behind the scenes you are doing. Make sure that your hands are at work. Day in, day out, make sure that there is something you're thinking about, something you think that can change your future, your life, and always keep positive, keep praying for God and my country. Thank you very much. Keep tuned in, The Bridge Talk Show.